Host the Thundering Herd of Marshall, and they had a terrific season last year, undefeated 15-0, hosting and winning the Division I AA championship. But moving up this year to Division 1A from 1AA, and they'll be playing in the MAC conference. They are picked second in the preseason polls as far as the Eastern Division of the MAC conference is concerned. And every time somebody moves down on the field, like the pride of West Virginia, the Mountaineer Marching Band is ready to go to work, and we'll go to work with them. So enjoy from Morgantown.
The 1997 Southern Trophy will be presented to the West Virginia University Mountaineer Marching Band. The national honor voted by college band directors across the country has been called the Heisman Trophy for college marching band, and is presented to only one college band each year, based on a long-standing example of excellent and consistent high-quality performances.
West Virginia taking the field in Morgantown. We will have more. Stay with us. We will continue with our Kroger pregame report live from Morgantown in a moment. Welcome back to the Kroger pregame show as we get set for Marshall and West Virginia. Next order of business will be the national anthem, and we will have somebody very special to handle that for us. Somebody who's very special to the state of West Virginia. Happy to be joined again by Jeff Bostic, and I know Jeff has been sitting here talking to me about missing all of this because you're always back in the locker room.
Yeah, I never get to see the pregame festivities and the halftime festivities. Certainly exciting to be at West Virginia, opening game of the season. So much has been built into this game. I'm ready to play right now myself.
What is going through the players' minds now, and what will happen at first contact? You get that kick, you get the ball in the air.
Each of these teams right now are in the locker room. There are butterflies in their stomach. They're nervous. As soon as that first hit happens, they'll realize it's a football game. Marshall's going to realize they're playing better competition. West Virginia, I think, has a point to prove.
And then they will go back to what they've been taught all during the August heat, getting ready for this one. I think that's one of the concerns. It's going to be very warm down on the field with that brand new carpet down there, and it has not been that hot while the teams have been getting ready, so we'll see how they handle that.
Yesterday the high was in the upper 60s. Today they're expecting a game time high of around 82 or 3 degrees. That's not uncomfortable heat. These guys are young. They'll be fine.
And the brand new carpet. I know you got a chance yesterday during the workouts to check that out.
That's an exceptional field. It's called Astro 12 Series 2000. It's one of the top AstroTurf fields in the country. Very shocking. Quick track, though.
I'm not able to hear. Yeah. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright bright stars through the perilous fight. Oh, the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
All right, Kathy Mattea handling the national anthem. She had a little trouble hearing at the beginning, but why not? This place is nuts. Let's go down to Scott Nolte, who's going to grab Kathy Mattea as she comes off the field. She did a terrific job, as expected, with the national anthem. So let's go to Scott.
Kathy Mattea, beautiful job on the national anthem. You've got to be excited as a native West Virginian to have an opportunity to sing the national anthem before a game like this.
Oh, my Lord, you know. Hey, adrenaline, you know, I'll be bouncing off the walls for another 20 minutes. Just standing out there, and how welcome everybody made me feel, and just standing in the middle of the band and all these, just really, really exciting.
As a West Virginian, a prediction on today's game between Marshall and West Virginia?
Well, I'm trying to remain neutral and not incite any hard feelings. I think both universities are wonderful. I have many good friends who went to Marshall, but, you know, I really want the Mounties to win.
All righty, Kathy Mattea will be in concert tonight in Charleston. Best of luck to you there. Back to you, John and Jeff in the booth.
The long wait is just about over. Marshall and West Virginia are going to play football this afternoon at Mountaineer Field in Morgantown, West Virginia. You can call it the front yard brawl. You can call it Mountain Thunder, but it's going to be football, and we'll have all of it for you coming up this afternoon. Welcome, everyone, to Morgantown. I'm John Sanders, working with Jeff Bostic. We've been on for a half an hour with the pregame show and haven't been able to hear each other yet. It's that way in the stadium.
70,000 people excited about this opener. West Virginia, very good football team. Marshall stepping up to that next level. They're going to play Division 1A. We're going to see what happens. They've been very successful at 1AA. We'll see what happens at this field today.
And we'll see Randy Moss, who's making the step up to Division 1A. He has nothing left to prove at AA.
Unbelievable last year. 29 touchdowns, 28 through the air, 1,700 yards. He tied the touchdown receiving record in a single season with a guy that's fairly good, Jerry Rice.
But he'll go up against a defense that was #1 in the nation last year, and the Mountaineers defensively look strong again this year.
Only gave up 217 yards last season. The coaching staff thinks that this team can be just as good defensively. It starts up front. Those front four are very talented. Marshall will have to find a way to block them.
8 of west at 4 miles an hour. Expected to be mild, but also under the sunshine, it will be warm. And certainly a Hall of Fame look, Jeff Bostic, to the opening coin toss.
Frank Gadsky, Sam Huff, 2 NFL Hall of Famers.
Brawl. You can call it Mountain Thunder, but it's going to... All right, we are underway. The kick is taken by Moss at about the 12. He's at the 20, the 25, and knocked down as he gets to about the 28-yard line. The thundering herd will start at the 28, 1st and 10. Chad Pennington coming back. He had a terrific freshman season and then sat out all of last year, but he'll be the quarterback this afternoon for Marshall.
Talked to Steve Dunlap, the defensive coordinator, very impressed with Pennington.
And the officials, in 95, hit 62% of his passes. 15 touchdowns and only 5 interceptions. He is back to lead this thundering herd offense. Lone setback is Chapman. They've got 4 wideouts, 2 split each way, and they run it up the middle. Out to about the 35-yard line. It's set the rest of this starting lineup as Chapman takes the opening carry out to the 35. Randy Moss, of course, It's brought to you by Huntington Banks. Chapman is the tailback. Wicks, Coleclaw, John White, the tight end. Those are the receivers. And John White anchors a strong offensive line.
He did a very good job on Thornton, gaining 7 yards on first down, John.
Now they spread 3 receivers to the left side. Tight end on the right side. There's the quick pass. Caught at the 30. Diving forward is Coleclaw. We have a flag down on the field near the 40-yard line. Coleclaw. It is going to go against the Thundering Herd. There is head coach Don Nehlen in his 18th season. Don, of course, is the man. He's now president of the American Football Coaches Association.
10 yards against the offense. Repeat the game.
So much is made about Randy Moss and his catching ability, his elusiveness, running the ball. He got called for holding there, trying to help his teammates.
Football comes all the way back now to the 23. There is Stills along that line, along with Slay, Thornton, Baum. Of course, Stills' job is to replace Knute Curtis, who was just one of the best in the country last year. Second down and about 10 to go after the holding penalty. Pennington looks right, throws, catch is made, and spinning out of bounds at about the 32-yard line. Again, it's Coleclaw, and you can see that they're going to go to him and use the other guy right now, Moss, as a decoy. They're going to Coleclaw.
You've got to be impressed with Marshall's offense. Multiple offensive looks, 3 wide receivers on one side. They're trying to stretch the West Virginia defense, try and find some seams. Yesterday, had a long visit with Tom Nunez, the offensive coordinator. He said last year West Virginia's defense had some holes. They're going to try and find them.
And now Pennington wants to make sure of the formation as he moves Gerald Long, who played at West Virginia, back to the other side, and they'll go from the shotgun on 3rd down and 5. First possession of the afternoon for the Thundering Herd. And the sack. Hit at the 25. The football comes loose, but he is down. And there comes that pressure up the middle that we expected to see.
Last season, 680 snaps. Steve Dunlap's.
That's Bob Baum who made the hit.
Fortunately for Marshall, it was a delay of game. Speaking with Steve Dunlap yesterday, they're not a defense that's going to sit back on their heels. 680 snaps last year. They blitz people 280 downs, almost every 3rd down.
Baum had 9 sacks a year ago. Thornton had 8, and Henry Slay had 8. Just underway from Morgantown again out of the shotgun. It's 3rd down and 10 after the delay, and then Marshall drawing West Virginia offside. The play continues. The flags are down. A catch at the 30, trying to spin outside, and down he goes right about the 30-yard line. See what the call is. Gerald Long made the catch of the ball, and Long was dropped at the 30. Well, I think still the opening possession of the first quarter. And the crowd has not settled in as yet, neither of the players. Moss in motion, and we've got some movement up front. Almost to be expected, I think, Jeff, because of all the excitement, the noise. They've waited, and they're so anxious.
Well, this is one thing that you're talking about, a Marshall team. You see the right tackle. Jamie Rogers moves a little bit.
False start on the offense. 5-yard penalty. Repeat the down.
Well, where we are is at the original line of scrimmage, and it's 3rd down.
Well, this Marshall team since 1991 have averaged 10 home games per season. That's incredible. This year they only have 5 home games. First 2 games are on the road, here and next week at Army.
And you can see Pennington changing things at the line of scrimmage as they go from the gun. Looking left, throwing left, he throws short. Intended for Mark Wicks. And the Thundering Herd will have to punt. Moss was not the target of any of the passes in that opening drive.
That may be intentional, John. Everybody knows that this guy's a big-time player, Heisman candidate. Break him into the game slowly. He may be a decoy for some of the other receivers.
There's Chris Hampton. Hansen getting ready to kick. Nate Terry is back to receive the punt, standing at his own 30-yard line. John Seamaster is the snapper, and that kick is blocked. Picked up, touchdown. West Virginia gets the touchdown. It's Gary Tompkins, number 11. The snap was a little low, and the pressure was there.
Josh Seamster, the long snapper. The ball was on the ground. Hansen had a hard time handling it. Great job by the West Virginia special team, something they have paid a lot of attention to during the preseason. Last season, special teams really hurt this West Virginia team in 2 games in particular, the Miami game and Syracuse. Extra emphasis has been placed on it. It pays off in the first series of the game.
Jay Taylor for the extra point. The Mountaineers, thanks to the defense, the special teams defense, going up 7-0. 12 minutes and 30 seconds remaining in the opening quarter.
Big run, 7-yard gain. Unfortunately, they were their own worst enemy, and you can expect this early in the season. Penalties on both teams. But Marshall had an opportunity to move the chains, gain a first down, keep possession of the ball, and probably more importantly, John, keep this crowd as quiet as possible.
It did not work out because of the block kick. Taylor kicking off for the second time, and Moss is back 2 yards deep. No, it's not Moss, it's Wicks in the end zone at the 15, and they wrestle him down right at the 15-yard line. So they will start from inside the 20-yard line on their second possession.
Impressed with the way their offensive line has come out and handled itself early.
Pennington now with the lone setback Chapman. Drops to pass, looks and throws, catches, made it to 20. Stretching out is Moss, his first reception of the afternoon. He gets to the 24-yard line, a gain of 9.
6'5", 215 pounds, a blazer. He is the best wide receiver in college football. He's the only college or pro player, John, I've ever seen that's got his own website. You can reach him at www.randymoss.com.
A lot of publicity, some notoriety, and Moss splits out wide right. He got 9 on his first catch of the afternoon. Pennington looking, and throws it away. There is a flag down. And Pruitt, that time having to pull Long off the field. Now he says, okay. Now they tried to go again to Moss, but they held him up pretty good that time.
I think what they're going to call is interference on Perlo Bastine. Or maybe holding. Had a pretty good grip on his jersey. That's about the only way you can defend Moss.
I was going to say, if you're one-on-one against Moss, what else are you going to do?
Bobby Bowden said it best. If you're covering Mr. Moss one-on-one, hold your hat.
And Coach Pruitt had his say. The officials have made the call.
Pass interference on the defense. First down. Ball be placed at the spot of the foul.
Football will come out to the 31-yard line. It is the initial first down for Coach Pruitt, and all he did in his first season, coming back to Marshall, where he was an assistant coach, where he played. His go
unbelievable.
19 out of 22 all-conference performers. Yeah, I'd say that's unbelievable. You see Chapman, the lone setback, behind Pennington. The play fake, play action, looking down the near side and incomplete. More bumping that time. Once again intended for Randy Moss down the near sideline, but pretty good coverage defensively by the Mountaineers.
Started with pressure. Gary Steele, you talking about replacing some big shoes. Canute Curtis, All-American, Butkus Award winner. Everybody you talk to at West Virginia loves Gary Steele. He's one of the ever-ready batteries. He never stops.
Moss is split to the right, 2 wide receivers to the left, tight end side to the left. Pennington doing a lot of play changing at the line of scrimmage. There's the quick pass in the flat at about the 35-yard line. It's Colclough spinning his way across the 40, but they're going to spot him down near the 38. It's a gain of about 8.
This Marshall offense is going to try and pick and choose when it can go long, throw the little short passes. These little 7- and 8-yard passes serve to them just like a first down run. They're gaining 6-7 yards, and what they're doing, they're staying out of that 3rd and long situation.
Well, this is an outstanding offense. They averaged almost 44 points a game and near over 485 yards of offense per game last year. From behind, they got it. Pennington is slammed down from behind, and he was busted that time defensively. It's Gary Stills, number 55.
Tough job for the left tackle, Mike Gillums, sophomore, 300-pounder. We talk about steals. He is a guy that runs a legitimate 4.5. He gets on the edge. Gillums can't get back quick enough. Pennington is the one that pays.
And on 3rd and 11, the Thundering Herd is going to try to get it out of trouble. Stills charging in from that side. The right side linebacker made the hit, made the sack. O'Neal hoping for better success with his 2nd effort of the afternoon. And he gets it. That's a good kick. It'll chase Terry back. He bobbles it, picks it up in the end zone. Now he tries to come out, and he's tackled in his own end zone. I'll tell you what, there's a little bit of everything going on here. It was a 61-yard punt that he boomed. Summers was down on the coverage, and the ball will come to the 20. In West Virginia, a 7-0 lead here in Morgantown with 10:17 remaining in the first quarter, and this is the first time that Mark Bulger and the offense have been on the field. Bulger is the red shirt sophomore out of Central Catholic High School. That's a pretty well-known high school.
They had another little quarterback leave there in the mid-70s, Dan Marino.
Yeah, Dan Marino went on to have a pretty good career. And up the middle, it's Zaraway, and this is what we expect to see from the Mountaineers. Zaraway fights his way across the 25 to the 26. He had a terrific freshman year. And Huntington Banks will bring you the West Virginia lineup. You see Zaraway certainly the key, over 1,000 yards as a freshman. The flanker backs and the receivers, Foreman. Wobble is the tight end. And along that line, Huntington Banks offensive line, Solomon Page, a sophomore tackle. Ford, DeGross is a very smart offensive line. Ball is at the 26, 2nd down and 4. Foreman is the motion man. Zaraway, knife down as he get to the line of scrimmage, maybe a half a yard. Big hit down low that time defensively by Grace. And let's set it up. We talked a little bit in the pregame show about B.J. Cohen, part of that defensive line, and the Huntington Banks linebackers. O'Neal, a sophomore at the outside, leads the way there. And we have met B.J. Summers. Let's go back and take another look at that hit.
You know, this is the type of matchup. West Virginia wants to play smash mouth. Well, John Grace says, well, bring it on.
3rd down and 4. Again, it's Foreman in motion. Play fake. Bulger's got some room on the left side. He's going to tuck it under and go for the first down. He'll get there. Outside the 30 to the 31-yard line. Heads up play by the quarterback.
Shows a lot of mobility, but also Sean Foreman, his wide receiver, was open to be thrown to. He comes back when he sees that the Bulger's going to take it and run. Comes back, delivers a great block.
The initial first down for the West Virginia offense at the 31-yard line.
You know this young man's got some butterflies in his stomach.
He's been waiting for this moment for a while. Johnston, of course, was at the helm here for a number of years for West Virginia. But now it's Bulger's team. It's first down at the 31-yard line. Oswega in motion. Zaraway, nifty move there. Gets to the 35. Rips away from one tackle. There's a flag down. He got almost 10 yards on the play, but we'll see if this is against the offense on the play as he spun away from a couple of tackles and got out to the 40-yard line. Again, it was Grace coming up to make the tackle. The penalty is going to be against the Thundering Herd. And I don't think a lot of people realize how a turf coat can affect you. It's ended careers.
Look at those
players.
Look at those arms on Zeraway.
Just inside the 45-yard line. West Virginia on the move. Play fake. Pass is low, but it is caught by Sean Foreman, the junior from Chesapeake, Virginia. And every play, every pass is going to make Mark Bulger just a little more comfortable at that quarterback slot.
What would probably make him more comfortable is David Saunders, the All-American wide receiver who tore up his knee early in fall practice, is out for the season. Carlos Azaguayo is going to have to pick up the slack. Sean Foreman will pick it up. But the big thing for Bulger is having number 20 in the backfield.
He is the lone setback and has the football. Dancing inside the 35, down to about the 32. Should be enough for another West Virginia first down. So Zeraway just keeps pounding away, and you look at the size difference, the matchup for the offensive line of the Mountaineers averages 290 pounds per man, going against a defense that's about 250.
Great job by the center, Eric DeGros. He's blocking on Ricky Hall. You talk about the size differential. Ricky Hall was a former fullback. Now a nose guard, 265 pounds. DeGros goes in about 290. And you talked about the intelligence of this offensive line, John. 3 of them are in pre-med.
And they have a terrific medical school here at West Virginia. The play fake. Going deep down the middle. Just overthrown down that far sideline. Intended for Foreman.
He's the heart and soul of this defense. They're a little bit undermanned up front. Probably spotting 30 to 40 pounds per lineman up front, but Larry McLeod is a football player.
It is 2nd down and 10. The ball at the 32-yard line of Marshall. It's Zeraway. Split the seam, gets it inside the 30 down to about the 28-yard line.
Another big stick by John Grace. He's been in about 3 tackles. Zeraway is a powerful man. You're talking about a guy that's going to be a great one. Solomon Page, 6'6", 290 pounds. Gets Cohen upfield. Remember this name. Remember this name. Solomon Page, just a sophomore. He's going to be a great player here in West Virginia.
Out of Brashear High School in Pittsburgh. Western Pennsylvania known for producing outstanding football players. There's the quick pass. It's complete for Penn. Knocked him down. That is Wable, the tight end. And he's all the way. That's
experienced a great times, hoping to continue that his senior year.
Thomas Maxwell had to come up and make the hit. The ball is at the 10-yard line. The Mountaineers are on the move with 6:12 remaining first quarter. West Virginia leading 7-0. Zeraway cuts it at the 5. There's a move. Dives for the end zone touchdown. What a couple of great moves by Amos Zeraway. He got 9 touchdowns last year. He gets his first for 97. A 10-yard touchdown, and the Mountaineers go up 13-0.
John, there's a lot of things you can't coach. Watch these moves. Open field, one-on-one with Zeraway. No way. Defender barely gets a hand on him. Great balance, great desire, and he finds the pay dirt.
The extra point is up and good. 6:04 remaining in the opening quarter. The Mountaineers of West Virginia, following the play of Amos Zeraway, have taken a 2-touchdown lead over Marshall. We'll be back to Morgantown. The forecast may have been for mild weather, but it's plenty warm down on the field. 10 plays, 80 yards. Zeraway 36 yards, including the 10-yard touchdown run that makes it 14-0. Mountaineers scored their first touchdown on a blocked punt. Pretty impressive start for the quarterback, Bulger.
Very impressive start for Bulger, but as I mentioned earlier, it's great to have number 20 in the backfield. If you make that jersey gray and blue, you can almost see Sanders written on the back of it, Barry Sanders. Built just alike, and they have a lot of the same similarities in running.
I knew it wasn't John Sanders. You can see Moss is back deep along with Wicks. Moss is the one they want to touch the football. He has only 1 catch so far, and they're going to drive Moss back in the end zone. He will let it go. It'll be first.
Fouls on the play. Unsportsmanlike. Kicking team. Unsportsmanlike. Receiving team. We also have a 10-yard block in the back. Penalty being forced. 10 yards this direction.
Now that causes some grumbling among the West Virginia fans, the old gold and blue that are decked out here. They've been ready for this game for about 3/4 of a century, that's all.
And this is a big series for the Marshall offense. They came out early, they sputtered, had a punt block. West Virginia with a very impressive 80-yard drive. They're up 2 touchdowns. If Marshall does nothing else, they have to establish field position. They have to keep West Virginia backed up.
It's going to be a 15-yard penalty in the Signal League game. It was delay of game 5. Good starting position. The initial drive, they began at the 28-yard line, thanks to the Moss return of the opening kickoff, this time at the 35. And jumping all over him is Stills as they tried to get outside. Chapman carried the football, but he did not get very far, maybe back to the line of scrimmage.
You talk to Steve Dunlap, the defensive coordinator. He salivates when talking about Gary Stills. Cat quick, unbelievable motor, very strong. This guy is going to be one of those that you're going to be talking about this year and the next year. Canute Curtis, we may forget his name by the end of the season.
Gary Stills, a true junior. He was a Proposition 48 player. And if he graduates on time, he might get that extra year back. That's a new rule in the NCAA. It's 2nd and 10 out of the shotgun. Pennington, they're all over him, but he gets the pass off at the 40, the 45, out to midfield. And Marshall picks up good yardage, and here comes a late hit flag. Moss showing his moves, his strength and power that time, got across the 50 and took a late hit.
And Pennington showing some courage in the pocket. He got hit by Slay, he got hit by Thornton, he got hit by Gary Stills.
You see Stills get away from him there.
This is yards after catch.
And there comes the late hit.
That's one of those penalties that the coaching staff, they just go completely bonkers over. It cost your team 10 more yards.
I think it was Barrett Green that came in late, and Don Nehlen does not like that.
Dead ball. Personal foul. On the defense, 15 yards.
Another 15 yards, so that's 30.
First or second round. Big, big offensive lineman. Going to play in the Blue-Gray All-Star game.
That's quite an honor for the first year in Division 1A for this school and this fine offensive lineman. Thundering Herd is on the move. Leaning forward inside the 30-yard line is Chapman.
That's center John Wade. Right guard Brian Reed. Brian Reed is an undersized guy. You watch John Wade. You wonder why they're gaining yards up the middle. Great block on Cogdale. The running back's not, these guys are smart. Follow my best offensive lineman.
Chapman got 7 on that play. He is the lone setback. Marshall is moving. Down to the 27-yard line. Pennington looks incomplete. In and out of the hands of Moss. He had it. Looked like he had a step and could not control it.
Once again, Gary Stills pressuring the quarterback. The quarterback is totally helpless. Back turned, running back. Running back matched up one-on-one.
Working on Nate Terry.
Great job by Nate Terry jamming him at the line of scrimmage. Almost a great catch.
3rd down and about 3. 4:14 to play, opening quarter. 14-0. West Virginia leads Marshall.
Here comes the blitz.
Here comes Moss in motion. They look right. Diving catch is made at the 20-yard line. Yes, sir. Good catch. Colclaw made the catch. The junior from Glenarden, Maryland. Nate Terry again on the coverage on that side, but it's first down. Thundering Herd inside the 21.
Pennington with a great throw. West Virginia coming after him. Colclaw, you talk about athleticism, stretched out. And, obviously so much attention is paid to Randy Moss. Colclaw is a quality receiver also.
Just outside the 20-yard line. It's Chapman trying to get outside. He does at the 15, the 10. Ridden down inside the 5-yard line from behind that time. Steve Lipp made the tackle, but that's a good run by Doug Chapman. Lippy made the hit.
We talked about this being an important series for the Marshall offense. They have responded down to the 3-yard line. Chapman, he got hurt yesterday in the walkthrough. He ran into Seamster, hurt his chest a little bit. Doesn't seem to be bothering him right now.
He has been outstanding on this drive. It is 1st and goal. They go to the 2-back set. Fake to Chapman. Pennington under pressure, throws incomplete. And they were in Randy Moss's lap that time.
Once again, number 55. Just what we expected. Steve Dunlap, the defensive coordinator, said yesterday, we're going to come after it. We attack the football. Their thing is, we're going to get to Pennington before they have an opportunity to catch the ball.
That's Bastine, who's all over him. He was, as I said, in his lap. 3:17 to play in the opening quarter. Ball just outside the 2-yard line.
It's got to be interference.
I'll tell you what, Nate Terry held him up. They can maybe say uncatchable. It was intended for Moss, but he never got out there. They're jamming him as much as they can at the line of scrimmage.
Nate Terry's trying to jam him at the line of scrimmage.
Wind knocked out of him, trying to catch his breath, but he is on the sideline on 3rd down and about 2. If they go back to the running game. Chapman looking, but there's no place to go. He is wrapped up, and once again, it's Gary Stills. Wow, what an impressive start for him.
There's no substitute for speed. Look at the jump he got. Tight end has no chance. Chapman, where are you going to go? Well, you're not going to outrun him. Stills runs a 4.5. Big loss. Field goal unit on the field.
This is Milasevich, number 49, who's going to attempt the field goal. The spot at the 15. Make it a field goal up, and they get on the board. Marshall gets on the board. The 24-yard field goal makes it 14-3. Important, I think, an impressive drive that they did get something out of it.
They would have liked to have put 7 on the board, John, but anything they put up there, 3 points, meant a lot to this football team right now. Now the shift has to go back to the Marshall defense. They have to come out, stop this West Virginia offense. Yeah, they got some pretty girls up at Marshall, don't they?
Yes, they do. Internet business?
You know what? I'm one of those computer idiots.
All right, Don Nealon receiving a kickoff for the first time this afternoon. Keaton and Terry will be the deep men. Keaton is an interesting story, a guy who had meningitis last year, sat out, and of course on came Amos Zaraway, so his role changed completely. He didn't know whether to stay or leave, but he has decided to stay. This will be Terry at the 15-yard line. 25, little room, 30, 35, fights his way out to the 36-yard line, kind of picked his way through traffic and did an excellent job. So good field position for the Mountaineers. 21-yard return, 10 plays, 72 yards, 3 minutes and 40 seconds. Milosevic with the field goal, 25. We'll check on Randy Moss. Last time we saw him was down on his knees. Foreman is the motion man. Bolger waits and then dumps it out to Zaraway. He can't hang on. That might be they're going to call it an incomplete pass. This is all right. He'll be back when Marshall gets the football back. Winding down quarter number 1. Little delay, and Zaraway tries to get outside. Does at the 40. They bump him out of bounds. Finally, Beckett knocked him out of bounds. Zaraway moved it out beyond the 40 to near the 42-yard line, a gain of 6.
That's called making something out of nothing. A play that wasn't particularly blocked very well. Zaraway, Pukinas, the right guard, trying to go up and lead this thing. You look like you've got him stopped here. Up, John Grace fell for the move. Zaraway puts a little jiggle, and 7 yards later, it's 3rd down.
And the way they blocked B.J. Cohen there almost was a clip. You can see Chapman and Zaraway. They have been the big threats offensively thus far. Straight drop. Bulger in some trouble, wrapped up. Was down inside the 35-yard line. All over him is B.J. Cohen, the senior from Conley, Georgia.
He is Marshall's sack specialist, 32 career sacks, working against the left tackle, Solomon Page. We talked about Page earlier. Cohen is a lot like Gary Stills, quick, fast, and he goes around the corner. Bulger does a good job holding on to that football.
Brian Bauman will punt. Randy Moss is deep. First opportunity. Here comes some pressure. Gets it off. A nice high floating kick. Moss kind of decoyed him a little bit. Now he's got a little room at the 25. Tries to cut back the other way. Spins away from one tackler. He covered a lot of ground. Schiller finally down to make the hit on him, but he did not pick up much yardage.
Be much happier. Cohen last season, 63 tackles, 50 assisted, 9 sacks, tied a team high. The 11th best defensive end in the country by Street and Smith.
From the 24-yard line, the Thundering Herd. Pennington on the rollout, looking, throwing. That pass is caught outside the 40. It's grabbed by Wicks. Wicks goes down near the 45-yard line. And he was wide open that time.
When you're having problem with protection, the thing that quarterbacks do, offensive coordinators, take the quarterback out of the pocket, roll him out of the pocket, run away from the pressure. He does a good job throwing across his body. Wicks, another guy like Moss, a lot of speed. Big gain for Marshall.
Steve Lippy over to make the hit. It's a 22-yard pickup for the Thundering Herd. They've got it out beyond the 45-yard line. Pennington 6 of 11, 66 yards. And showing the calm, cool, collected style that he displayed in 1995 and leading his team to an NCAA Division I championship game. Not much there for Chapman as he wiggles his way out to about the 47, give him 1. 30 seconds remaining in the opening quarter. Straight drop. Pass is deflected. It's in the air and up for grabs. And West Virginia's got it. The Mountaineers have intercepted. It was deflected at the line of scrimmage. Coming away with it is Cogdell, I believe, number 1.
Pennington back in the pocket. If you can't get to the quarterback, jump and get your hands up. Jason Williams does that. Cogdell comes down with it.
The danger there for West Virginia is there were too many guys around the ball.
Too many guys. That's when you fumble the ball.
That's right.
You drop it, don't catch it, it falls on the ground. Good job by Cogdell.
1st and 10 near midfield. Again, Foreman in motion, but it's Zaraway. Tries to get away from one of his own, and he's in open field at the 30. Cuts it back at the 25. He could go. 10, 5, touchdown. Wow, what a run. Zaraway breaks it. There is a flag on the ground back at midfield. And let's hang on. It was a brilliant 51-yard run. Personal foul against Marshall. It's a touchdown.
Amos Zaraway is worth the price of admission. What a cut. Gets away. Open field. The open field is just not fair.
Well, Leroy White started it all, and he had to work his way past Solomon Page, number 77, to go into his routine.
There was some question to Zaraway's health coming into this game. He hurt his thumb in the early part of fall practice. Doesn't seem to be bothering him right now.
He has 73 yards so far, is that right? 93 yards, okay.
Foul on the defense. It'll be a 1.5 yard penalty. It was accepted. We'll take it now. Touchdown is good.
They do. Taylor. Taylor last year was perfect. 32 of 32 in point afters. The extra point is up and good. There are 2 seconds remaining, and let's go back once again. Watch the work. Some numbers on Amos Zaraway in '96. All he did was, first time he touched the ball, he went 59 yards for a touchdown.
And he set the freshman rushing record here at West Virginia, 1,035 yards, the Big East Rookie of the Year.
And as you say, played much of the last half of the season with a turf toe.
And anybody that's played football and had a turf toe knows how painful that is, especially playing on an artificial surface.
Ask Jack Lambert about turf toes.
Ask me. I've got one.
Hoping to kick it deep. This is Wicks, and he will stay. So the ball will come out to the 20. That's it. We played the first quarter. All the excitement, the build-up, it's all gone West Virginia's way, starting with the blocked kick for a touchdown. The Mountaineers turn to the second quarter with a 21-3 lead over Marshall. 7, Marshall now. Chapman is the lone setback, and Pennington once again changing up at the line of scrimmage. Incomplete near the 24-yard line. Intended that time for Kolpa. It'll be second down and 10. I'll tell you, the Thundering Herd, the last time they had the ball, had a good march, good drive, moved it right down the field.
You're talking about Mr. Offense for West Virginia, Amos Zaraway. Gary Steels for the West Virginia defense has been all over the field. Interesting how Marshall is trying to block him. About half of the time they're using a running back. Advantage West Virginia.
I was going to say, I don't think that's going to work on a consistent basis, is it?
Very talented football player.
Second and 10 at the 20. Chad Pennington from Knoxville. Played as a freshman, did not play as a sophomore. That one is almost intercepted.
Don Nealon.
Well, 18 years here, and he also
9 years at Bowling Green. He's been around for a while.
Very successful at Bowling Green. Out of the shotgun on third down. There's the quick pass at the 20. Slamming him down. Not much that time for Chapman. He was knocked to the turf as he crossed the line of scrimmage and got about 3. It'll be fourth down.
Nate Terry with the tackle. John Thornton. You love to see your big defensive lineman running sideline to sideline.
An excellent defensive stand that time for West Virginia. So Marshall will punt it. O'Neal has had one blocked. Nate Terry will be deep for the Mountaineers. The second kick for O'Neal was a 61-yarder that chased it all the way back to the end zone. Fair catch called for outside the 35 at the 37-yard line. That's where the Mountaineers will put it in play with 13:59 remaining first half. And we have some backup runners in there for West Virginia. Keaton carried the football. Curtis in there for Amos Zaraway. There's Wade.
There must be ice packs or something in that thing, because it almost looks like one of those hats you put around your head, John, to go on a safari.
Yeah, it does. Ball at the 40-yard line. A gain of a couple. No place to put anybody in this stadium. Capacity is 63,500 and more. Second and 8 from the 40. The fake to Keaton. Down the middle. The pass is caught at the 35-yard line. Josuega made the catch and went down at the 35. Good play action fake that time by Bulger.
Bulger sits in the pocket just as he releases the ball. Number 6, Ricky Hall, hits him. Josuega filling in for David Saunders. Tell me how your chest feels in the morning, Rich. Ricky Hall, helmet to
B.J.
chest.
Cohen were right all over him, but the pass was completed down to the 35. It's first down and 10, and there is motion in the back.
Coach Pruitt is saying the same thing.
35 yards for Marshall, 42 for West Virginia. 30 of that came on one drive. But it's 1st and 5 for the Mountaineers. The second team is in there. Keaton picks up about 3, picking his way inside the 30 down to the 27.
And this is not like the pros. They don't have preseason games to go out and get the wrinkles out of it. This is their first showing, looking very impressive.
Looking right side and caught at the 20-yard line. Banged down is Foreman. But he made the catch before B.J. Summers could get to him. And Bulger looking sharp on this drive. Out of inside the 20 to 19.
Pittsburgh Catholic High School, the same one, Dan Marino. He's got that quick release. Sean Foreman, a guy that will have to step up. Mentioned earlier, All-American candidate David Saunders out for the season with a torn ACL.
Bulger now 4 for 6, 60 yards passing in the first half. They've had that combination with Zaraways running. Foreman in motion. Quick give to the fullback. Bouncing inside his Plants. Playing without a hat as he got down to about the 10-yard line. Second down and 2. That's Foreman in motion. Keaton cuts it outside. He could go. He will. Curtis Keaton for the touchdown. Led by Mark Plants, number 46.
He did a great job leading through the hole. And you know what? With this West Virginia offense, Leroy White, Mark Plants, these guys are the ones going to, with the offensive line. This is the backup offensive line except for Steve Forbes.
Wow.
Look at Plants. Mano a mano with Larry McLeod.
Anthony Becht also with a great block, the tight end downfield.
Walk-in touchdown.
It took him only 6 plays to go 62 yards and put another 7 on the board. Scoreboard reads West Virginia 28 and Marshall 3. One of them will be returning this kick, maybe. Jay Taylor's done a good job in handling the kickoff so far. And they're going to kick this one short. It'll be fielded at about the 17-yard line, and all of a sudden there's a lot of room for Moss. One man got him at the 35-yard line. I'll tell you what, they're doing the best they can, but as soon as he got it was almost like the seas parted.
And you could see a conscious effort to try and kick the ball away from Moss. Great open field tackle by their kicker, Jay Taylor. Great block there by 35. Look at the size. This is like the parting of the Red Sea. Wicks coming up through the hole, gets a block on Plants. You talk about your kicker being a football player and improved special teams play by West Virginia. You just saw it.
48 yards on the kick return sets the Thundering Herd up at the 35-yard line of West Virginia. Marshall trying to come right back, and they go to the ground game. Strong hit inside. The last man in was Green. Number 33, putting the stick to Doug Chapman.
West Virginia University for a long time have been known for great hitters in the secondary.
Clock running to the 10-minute mark. Time remaining in the first half. Pennington in the end zone, incomplete. And Moss drew double coverage again. That was Nate Terry back there on the coverage. Also Gary Tompkins, number 11, down defensively for West Virginia. It'll be second down. Excuse me, third down. And about 6. Ball just inside the 31-yard line. Marshall just 1 of 5, and you can see once again Pennington, he's done this all afternoon, has been changing the play at the line of scrimmage. Quick pass is incomplete. It was intended for Coleclaw.
Florida, they had pretty good football players.
Yeah, they do. Fourth down. And trailing 28-3, the Thundering Herd will go for it. Now Pennington will run up the middle. Diving for the first down. Let's see if he got there. It's going to be close. Cogdo made the tackle. It all depends on the spot of the football.
I'm going to go out on the limb, John. I think he came up short.
Okay. He did. He didn't even bring out the change. Mountaineer defense holds, turns the ball back to the offense.
For one of the few times this afternoon, Pennington had time to throw the football, no one to throw it to. He sticks his shoulder down, trying to dive for that first down marker. Talking about an All-American. How about Henry Slay? Takes Gillums back to the quarterback, still chasing him down.
Never stops.
You know, it's amazing. Great players always have great motors. They always try and seem to get to the ball.
We're in the second quarter. Second quarter just underway. Play fake to Zaraway. They run the screen back the other way. This is White. He's knocked out of bounds as he gets across the 35. Maybe enough for a first down. 230 pounds from Washington, D.C., but you also told me the players like it when Don Nehlen scores, don't they?
If they do not score, they stay out there much longer.
White in front of Zaraway. This is the play fake to Zaraway. Bulger on the run, throws, and it's almost intercepted. Almost picked off by B.J. Summers.
Intended for number 80, Ostigata, number 8.
And that offense for Marshall going back to work. It was 3 and out after a 48-yard kickoff return.
If I'm the offensive coaches, I'm going to try and find a way to put a helmet on number 55.
Well, that may be part of the problem, finding a way to do that.
Finding someone to put a helmet on Gary Stills.
1st and 10 from the 38. 9:31 remaining in the opening half. 28-3, the Mountaineers lead. Here comes Zaraway, bounces outside, stops, stutters, steps around inside, outside the 40 to the 41-yard line before he's dropped by B.J. Summers.
Stop was made by number 8, B.J. Summers.
You wouldn't know this was the first game of the season.
The opening drive was sputtering both ways for both teams, and then the West Virginia defense had some penalties in the long drive by the Thundering Herd. There's White, hit from behind, and down he goes short of the first down. Once again, it was Summers coming over, and the Mountaineers will have to punt. Clock runs with 8.5 minutes to play. Let's check out White.
When you run a little play action, you're going to run a screen. The running back and the lineman have to be great actors. John Grace, if you are one of the Thundering Herd fans, this guy has delivered some hits today. Mountaineers came up short, 4th down, and are forced to punt.
That is Moss standing back at his own 10-yard line. Brian Bauman with his second punt of the afternoon. Snap is good. The kick, though, is off the side of the foot. And it wiggles out of bounds. Another chance for Marshall here. That punt went, what, 5 yards? That's not what Brian had in mind.
Yeah, that's what Brian Bauman is going to try and forget.
Ball will be spotted at the 48-yard line. We will take a break.
What's on your team? It's never over.
Pennington only 2 for his last 9. It's 28-3 West Virginia. And they'll go to the ground game. Battling for a couple of yards up the middle is Doug Chapman. He'll get to midfield. It'll be 2nd down and 8. Of course, Randy Moss is certainly a marked man, and he will be every game he plays this season. At Mountaineer Field on a bright, sunny afternoon so far. Again, it's Chapman, and he is crunched at the line of scrimmage. Cogdell in there, number 1 to lead the charge with help from John Hadley.
Don't be surprised by the performance of this West Virginia University defense. Last season, number 1 in the nation, giving up 217 yards a game. You want to know what it feels like to be a running back? Hello, Mr. Chapman. My name is Damon Cogdell. Welcome to West Virginia.
Out of Chaffee Junior College in Miami, Florida. Pennington rolling, throwing. The pass is caught down the sideline. Picked up that time.
Complete to number 26.
That's Long, Gerald Long, the former Mountaineer who made the catch, and that's a big third down play to dig him out of 3rd and long and pick up the first at the 27.
This is the toughest throw for a quarterback. A right-handed quarterback rolling to his left, throwing across his body. And you talking about threading the needle? Great job by Pennington.
I'm sure Barrett Green thought, hey, I'm going to get an interception out of this thing, and it went right by him. Big pickup of 23 yards on that play. Moves it down to the 27-yard line. 1st and 10 for the Thundering Herd. Chapman trying to get outside, and he will not be able to do it. Green coming up to make the hit.
The initial stop by number 33.
Lippy there as well.
Coach Don Nehlen wants in a West Virginia football player.
He's out of Uniontown, Ohio. Out of the shotgun. Pennington under pressure, and down he goes. Slammed to the turf that time by your man, Gary Stills.
We talked about him early in the game. I think he has lived up to billing. A rush linebacker. He has been all over the field. Pennington has no chance. Gary Stills records his 2nd sack of the first half.
Slammed him down at the 33, the loss of 6. It'll be 3rd down and 16.
And you know, some guys just love to play football. I think this guy would play out in the parking lot. He doesn't care. Just play football.
You think he's having a little fun this afternoon?
He's loving it right now.
Out of the gun again. And this one's going to be whistled dead. 4 minutes and 49 seconds remaining in the opening half. A half that has been dominated by West Virginia. Timeout is called by the Thundering Herds.
Jeff Hostetler, endowment scholarship. Pretty good quarterback here. And the son-in-law of Don Nehlen.
Down the middle, pass is caught. Spinning inside the 15 and spun down is Levon Colclaw. The junior picks up the 1st down, and this drive continues at the 15-yard line.
This Marshall team may be behind 28-3, but you can certainly sense they are not intimidated by West Virginia. They are not fearful. Pennington is sitting in the pocket, and right now they're making plays.
Trying to get into the end zone before halftime. Another sack.
Guess who?
Yes, sir. It's Gary Stills. Boy, he is quick.
Number 55, Gary Stills.
He reminds me of a guy that used to play at the University of North Carolina, and he went on to play for the New York Giants. He wore a number slightly larger, number 56. His name was Lawrence Taylor.
Could play a little, huh?
He could play some football, believe me.
9-yard loss on the sack of Pennington. Clock running with 3:45 to play in the half. Pennington looking, gets it off. It's knocked down. Cogdill climbing the ladder, and behind him, Mark Wicks looked to be open, but Cogdill did not let it get through. And once
it's amazing how much his completion percentage goes up.
Down the middle again. This one is caught in the end zone for a touchdown. That is Colclaw who made the catch. Well, Pennington did not quit. Marshall is on the board with 3:34 remaining in a half. And this is a huge touchdown for the Herd.
There is no quit in this Marshall team. Pennington, perfect throw. Colclaw, he knows he's going to get hit. Great job extending his arms. You think Pennington's still into this game? Yes, he is.
Well, remember, he threw 15 touchdowns 2 years ago and taking his team all the way to the championship game and only 5 interceptions. The extra point is up, and it is good. The 52-yard, 9-play scoring drive took 4 minutes and 23 seconds, and it cuts the Mountaineer lead to 28-10.
It's a gift. Second one, the big run by Zaraway.
51 yards.
You take those 2 plays away, you've got a 14-10 game, and we might have a little bit of tenseness in the stands of all these 70,000 people here.
Another plus for the Marshall University. That last drive, they had a lot of 3rd and long situations, and Pennington stood tough and delivered.
They converted the 3rd and 15, and they converted the 3rd and 16. There's a little kid chewing some gum, isn't it?
I think so. Is he nervous?
They're thinking one day I might be a Mountaineer.
Keaton and Terry are deep. It's Keaton on the far side and Terry on the near side. The kickoff bounces to Keaton, looking for some room at the 20, 25, cuts it back outside, gets a block. Swarmed under, close to midfield. An excellent return that time by Keaton. Look how he was so patient. He waited at the 47-yard line. 1st and 10. Foreman in motion. It's Keaton to midfield. He'll pick up about 3. And West Virginia, I'm sure, in the last 3 minutes here would be content to pound it out on the ground if they can. Eat up some sitting, hoping the defense can do the job in the final 2:39, and we're going to stop the clock. Now we're ready. 2nd down and 7 from midfield. Play action pass is caught for just about a 10-yard gain. Foreman made the catch in the arms of B.J. Summers.
A lot of credit has to go out to this offensive line for West Virginia, doing a great job blocking for Zaraway. They're also doing a number, keeping the pocket nice and open for Bulger. He drops back. Nobody's in his face. We talked about that quick release. Also spoke of Sean Foreman having to step up with Saunders being out for the year, and he has done that.
They get 8 yards and the 1st down. It's 1st and 10 from the 42-yard line, and Bulger looking very efficient in the first half. Play action fake, sets, waits, and goes down. Back at the 47, 48-yard line. He is wrestled under. Toviesi made the tackle. Number 85 coming in to get him.
Talked to some of the coaches yesterday, and they're not surprised about this guy. 6'7", 244-pound true freshman.
Toviesi from Alexandria, Virginia, makes the sack back at the 47-yard line. It'll be 2nd down and 15 for the Mountaineers as the clock winds down. 1:35 to play. We're in the first half. Keaton hit immediately as he moved through by B.J. Cohen. Cohen got some help from Andre O'Neal, but Cohen is the man.
Even though they're down 28-10, this Marshall team is playing hard. If you're Bob Pruitt, that's exactly what you want from your football team. Staying in the game. B.J. Cohen with a little trick we used to call a TE, tackle end exchange.
Bring in a couple of extra wideouts now. Green is in there for the first time this afternoon. 1 wideout left, 2 wideouts, one to the right and 2 to the left in this formation. Out of the shotgun. Bulger sets, throws. It's deflected and incomplete.
Your All-American Randy Moss an opportunity to return this ball.
Oh, I don't know.
It would be a great time to come after the punter. It looks like they're up and ready to go.
Remember, the last punt was only 6 yards. Whistles everywhere, so bring this one back. The punt was much better. Heads for the corner. That would have been a beauty, huh? But hadn't been fielded.
A medical emergency. Either first aid room, either on the east or west side of the stadium. Yes, report.
Awaiting the kick is Moss. This is another good one. Moss signals fair catch and takes it at the 13.
Randy Moss makes a fair catch for West Virginia punt.
Exactly.
First down 10 for Marshall with 32 seconds remaining. Moss goes wide left. Gerald Long is wide right. And they're going to kneel down. As we said, they'll be happy to get back in this football game trailing by 18 at halftime. Then Bob Pruitt and company can go in that locker room and regroup. They had a couple of good drives during the course of the half. The last one very impressive because of those 3rd and long situations.
Converted 2 3rd and longs, kept the drive alive. Pennington, every bit as poised as Bulger. Both of these coaches have to be very happy with the play of their quarterbacks. And I'm sure when Bob Pruitt goes in there, he was concerned about how his defense would hold up against West Virginia's offensive line. Better as the half went on.
Don Nehlen will head to his locker room with the halftime lead. West Virginia is in front of Marshall in their first meeting since 1923. It's 28-10. We will begin our halftime activities after this.
Chance. Get control of the ball, put a score on the board, we still got a game.
But on the other hand, if the Mountaineers come out and maybe hammer that football down the field, it could be bad news for Marshall. We'll be having more stats coming up later, but right now we're going to go down to the field where the 2 bands, Marshall University and West Virginia University, have joined forces for a halftime show, and let's listen in. Here, and let's take a look at our Kroger halftime stats. It's 28-10 on the scoreboard, and here are the other numbers breaking down this way.
I think the one that really stands out, John, look at Marshall under rushing yards. 13 yards rushing. 10 first downs each. Both teams were sloppy early, but played much better as the game went on.
Well, that total offense number was a lot more lopsided when we checked it out earlier, you recall. So a good job by the Thundering Herd late in that half to close the gap.
They have closed the gap, and I think when they closed that gap in yardage, it also brought their confidence back.
Getting ready for the second half of play as Perlo Bastine gets loosened up, or re-loosened up. A lot of Heisman hype about 2 guys who are on this field this afternoon. Zaraway certainly has lived up to his preseason hoopla. Moss, they've been all over him.
Well, they've been all over him, but he's made his presence felt. Returning kicks, they've been doing a great job jamming him at the line of scrimmage. Nate Terry, the big defensive back that transferred from Merced Junior College, 6'2", 200 pounds, has done a great job keeping him off the ball. This guy has been very impressive.
And he is set to come on the field because West Virginia will be receiving the opening kick. And the second half is underway from Morgantown. We're at Mountaineer Field. Keaton drops it, picks it up at the 2. Runs away from a couple of tacklers and still on his feet. Fights his way out across the 15. And that was a pretty good job just to get to there. 16-yard line, and that's where the Mountaineers will put it in play as we begin the second half. 28-10 West Virginia. Quick pass. It's dropped by Foreman right at the 20-yard line. So instead of going to the running game, Bulger dropped back quickly, tried to put it in the hands of Sean Foreman. It'll be second down. Second down and 10. Just underway in the second half. As the quarterback comparison, it was a strong performance by Bulger in that first half. Pennington came on strong at the end of the first half.
A little bit of difference in the protection both of those were receiving, though.
Zaraway stops and down he goes near the 15-yard line. No hold that time. O'Neal was there. And there are flags down.
That's the key to stopping a running back, is making him run to the sideline. A couple of different instances during this game, Zaraway has been able to get around the corner. This time Marshall strung it out.
Third and long. Out of the shotgun now. They have taken Zaraway out of there. White is the lone running back. He's in there to block and now maybe come out on a pass play. Pass is complete near the 25-yard line. Escueda made the catch right at the 25. I think he's going to be a little short. Larry Moore was there defensively for the Thundering Herd, and so it's 3 and out for the Mountaineers.
This is exactly what Bob Pruitt and that Marshall defense wanted to do. 3 plays and out. West Virginia punts the ball. Marshall takes over, and guess who's back to return this punt?
Wouldn't be number 88, would it?
It certainly would. The only player I've ever known to have his own website. www.randymoss.com. That's how you can get in contact with him.
Bauman's kick. Fielded at the draw, dropped at the 25. He retreats to pick it up. Now he's trying to dig himself out of a hole, and will. Plenty of room down that left sideline. Stop and go move at the 45. Inside the 40, inside the 35, and down he goes. Chris Edmonds finally tracked him down. And maybe that bobble helped him a little bit.
And this is the first time that many people have had a chance to see Randy Moss in person. Obviously playing Division I AA, you don't get on television very often. This guy is everything that he's been billed. 6'5", 215 pounds, can do it all. Has a problem handling this ball. You talked about that thing bouncing up. Just eludes a shoestring tackle. Picks up some blocking. Guess who kept this from going to the house? Gary Stills.
First down at the 33 following a 42-yard punt return of a 50-yard kick. Pennington looks. It's knocked down at the line of scrimmage. He's 2nd and 10.
Good job by the senior Bob Baum. If you can't get to the quarterback, get your hands up, and that's exactly what he did.
There's the quick pass. At the 30 to 25, Colclough dancing down the sidelines. He's banged out of bounds. They're going to spot it near the 15-yard line. Gary Tompkins came up to make the hit, but they flooded that zone, made good yardage, and get the first down.
And Tompkins is lucky. You talk about a quick strike offense. They scored before we came back. Nate Terry is all over him. That's one of the advantages of having a wide receiver that's 6'5".
Now it's 28 to 17. And exactly what Jeff Bostic talked about at halftime has happened. Bob Pruitt's club is back in at 13:08 remaining in the third. 28-17 West Virginia. Marshall has scored the last 14 points, and Moss gets his first touchdown catch of 1997. You take a look from the end zone.
The good news is he scored the touchdown, John, but if he wants to duplicate 1996, he's got to score 28 more.
Short kickoff fielded downfield by one of the up men at the 22-yard line, and that's where West Virginia now will go back to work. The Thundering Herd is back in the football game. Ryan Brady received the kick. They spotted at the 22, 1st and 10, and it was 3 and out.
That's one of the disadvantages, John, of going up big early in the game. Some of that emotion and some of that adrenaline that you had going in, it turns off. And once you lose it, it's hard to turn it back on.
Well, let's see if Bulger can get the Mountaineers going now. Zaraway trying to get outside. He'll squeeze ahead for a couple of yards, no more. You can see the defense, Ricky Hall, a former fullback, makes the tackle. They moved him over to the defensive line.
Former fullback out of College Park, Georgia. How often do you hear a converted fullback playing nose guard?
No, maybe linebacker, but not nose guard, huh?
The Marshall defense is excited.
2nd down. They only gave him 1 yard on the play. It'll be 2nd down and 9. Play fake from Bulger. Now runs away from pressure. He's going to keep it and go out of bounds as he gets across the 25 to the 27-yard line. It'll be 3rd and 5.
Smart play by Larry Moore, the corner. West Virginia offense, they have struggled the last 3 times they've been on the field.
David Richardson is in that lineup now, and the Marshall players trying to get their fans into it on 3rd down and 5. Richardson is the motion man. The pass is caught across the 35. Richardson drops the football. Was he down before? Yes, he was down. I think it's going to be short of a first down, though, depending on the spot. They needed to get close to the 33, and I think they only got to the 32. It'll be 4th down.
Just from the top of this stadium here at Mountaineer Stadium, this looked like a fumble to me. We'll see from this replay. Good job of stripping the ball. No knee down yet, and that ball's out. It's a little bit congested in there, huh?
At last look, it did appear that he was down, and they are going to kick it away. That means more work for Randy Moss, and Brian Bauman now standing back inside his own 20. This one angled toward the sideline, fielded back at the 16, spinning his way across the 20 to the 22 is Randy Moss. "22-yard line, 1st down 10. Moss is split to the near side. Going with the lone setback. It's been Doug Chapman most of the day, and he will stumble as he gets to the line of scrimmage and goes down. And once again, you see Stills was one of the first one to the hole.
When you get a comment, he was the best high school football player I've ever seen from Lou Holtz. As good as Deion Sanders. Deion is a measuring stick. This kid's just as big or bigger than Deion. That's from Bobby Bowden. Those are some very high.
We have a timeout with 11:21 to go, 3rd quarter. It's now a 28-17 lead for West Virginia over the Thundering. At timeout, the West Virginia players trying to get their fans back in the ball game. And I think part of getting them out of the game was that early big lead that they had, 28-3. But now it's 28-17. There is the quick pass. Moss is dumped at the 24. Hadley made the play over there defensively. Moss gets a couple.
You talk about, Randy Moss and what kind of athlete is he? During the spring, he competed in the indoor track competition. It had colleges from all over the country. Ohio, right here in Pennsylvania, West Virginia, Virginia. He won the 100 meters, he won the 200 meters, and later that day he went out and pitched a 2-hitter and hit a home run for their baseball team.
Wow. He can do it all. Here they come. Gets the pass off incomplete out to the 37-yard line before they can wrap him up and knock him down. But the Thundering Herd beginning to move. That is a 1st down play.
You know this is a big game for Gerald Long. He was here 2 years ago as a wide receiver, was the starting receiver for West Virginia on opening day in 1995. And ever since this game's been scheduled, he has had this thing pinned up on his locker, looking forward to it.
He makes the 1st down grab out across the 35 to the 37-yard line. There are plenty of folks here in green and white, and they have something to cheer about now because the Thundering Herd is climbing right back in this football game. Pass is complete. Again, it's Moss. Moss gets across the 45 to the 47, close to another Marshall 1st down. I tell you, he's not afraid to stick his head in there and run those crossing patterns. It's a 1st down.
A big guy that's very physical. That was not an easy catch. He's coming across the middle. He knows he's going to get hit. We talked about the yardage earlier. West Virginia now with 2:13. The Thundering Herd with 2:05.
And they are thundering right now. 9:52 to play 3rd quarter. And Marshall is on the move. Pennington changes the play at the line of scrimmage. He's got 2 wide receivers out to the left side, and he goes to the running back who breaks it down the near side. 30, 25, 15, 10, touchdown, Marshall. Breaking the play all the way was Turner. And just like that, Marshall is back in the football game. 53-yard touchdown sprint by Turner. He's the backup to Chapman, a sophomore from Manassas, Virginia. The extra point to follow. So the trend of big plays continues, only it's the Thundering Herd. And I think some of the people who have gone out to the parking lot might want to get back to their seats. This one is a 28-24 game. Milosevic getting his fans fired up as he knocks through the extra point.
Unranked defense in the nation.
This is a great move right there by Turner, and then he gets out of the tackle of Tompkins right through his arms, and you know that Steve Lippy's not going to be able to catch him from behind.
There are a lot of West Virginia fans right now sitting on their hands, and in the corner of Mountaineer Stadium is about where all of the Thundering Herd fans are. They're standing up, shaking those green pom-poms.
It's 28-24. At one time it was 28-3, but this 53-yard run has the Thundering Herd thundering in Morgantown. It'll be Keaton and Terry deep for West Virginia. And let's see if the Mountaineers can stem this momentum. It has certainly shifted to the Thundering Herd. It'll be Terry at the 13-yard line. He's got a little bit of a seam at the 30, spun down as he gets to the 35-yard line.
Brawl, hasn't it?
Yes, it has.
Just as billed. Wouldn't you like to see this rivalry? Wouldn't you like to see this rivalry continue?
I think a lot of people would, but there's no room on the schedule into the year 2004. Bolger under some pressure, dumps it, incomplete. Hosqueda could not hang on, and the ball falls incomplete. It'll be second down and 10.
A good shot there by Paul Totten.
And you know, more pressure coming now from the Thundering Herd than we saw in the first half.
That's the downside of having a big lead like West Virginia. 28-3, you think it's over. Your emotional system shuts down. Unfortunately, nobody told Marshall this game was over.
I know Jeff Bostic said it wasn't over, even when it was 28-3. Second and 10. Zaraway for 5, for 7. And of course, this was the offense they used to build that big lead. Pounding away with the excellent running of Zaraway and Curtis Keaton.
Huddle offense.
Zaraway spinning away from a tackler, but he cannot pick up the first down. He could not get out of the arms of Larry McLeod. So it is going to be fourth down, West Virginia. But there are flags down on the field. Let's see if because they went to that no-huddle offense, if there was some kind of motion on the play. There's the redshirt sophomore, Mark Bolger, and this has certainly shocked and quieted this huge crowd, about 70,000.
Decline, fourth down.
So for the third consecutive series in the second half, it's 3 and out for West Virginia. Moss will drop back to receive the punt of Brian Bauman.
So much of football is emotion, and right now, the emotion, number one, and momentum are parked over on the Thundering Herd sideline.
Snap a little high, but there's no pressure. Fielded at the 4-yard line by Moss. Starts left, down he goes. Moss fielded it inside his 5-yard line, and Dave Lightcap made him pay. A 52-yard punt, and the Thundering Herd is pinned inside the 5.
You know, what coaches will basically tell you when you're receiving a punt? Stand on the 10-yard line. If it goes over your head, let it go. Well, when you're a player, when you're a player like Randy Moss, you think you can make everything happen.
That's exactly right.
He goes back to the 4-yard line. We talked about running east and west. Lightcap makes the play. Marshall's backed up at their own 4-yard line.
And this does get the Mountaineer fans back on their feet. Looking for a defensive stand, trying to get outside. It's Chapman. Excuse me, it's Turner. And he gets him out of a hole as he gets across the 15 to the 16-yard line. An 11-yard pickup. And
is there a little bit of difference in total yards in the first and second half?
absolutely. And a difference on the scoreboard as well. Marshall is down by 4. Fighting for a couple of yards, not much there. Now Turner picks up maybe 2. It'll be second down and about 8 from the 18. And once again, the name Gary Stills is called.
What a first half he had. 6 tackles, 3 sacks.
And he's got to go to work in the second half. We're midway through the third quarter.
And if you look at that West Virginia defense, they're lifeless. There is no emotion in that huddle. Look at them, hands on their hips. I think right now they're a little bit in shock.
Pennington throws incomplete. On the far side. Bob Pruitt's team very much back in this football game in Morgantown. They have waited since 1923 for this matchup. Pennington delivers over the middle. Incomplete. Again, intended for long, and he could not hang on. So the Mountaineers hold, and Marshall will punt.
Great job by the junior cornerback, Nate Terry. Pennington, with plenty of time, gets that arm in front of the ball, breaks it up. Marshall is forced to punt the ball.
Nate Terry will be deep to receive the kick. Should be good field position for the Mountaineers. Some pressure up the middle. End over end kick is going to be fielded at the 42 by Terry. Across midfield. Down the near side. He's got a little bit of room. He steps out of bounds as he gets inside the 40, and there are flags down behind the play at the 45-yard line. Operate out of the I formation for one of the few times this afternoon with White in front of Zaraway. Motion man is Foreman. It's White. He's got 5. He's got 6, maybe 7. That's Anthony Green, not Larry Roy White. Anthony Green, the redshirt sophomore out of Jersey City, New Jersey, is on now.
You know, I think when teams are struggling, you go back to what you do the best. This is a smash mouth football team running the ball. That's Don Nealon's history. Play action.
Bolger throws down the middle, almost intercepted. Almost picked off. That was so close to being in the hands of Rogers Beckett, number 42.
Great job with the play fake. Look at the linebackers. Beckett gets back, reads. This is one of the worst throws that Bolger's made. This is when your receiver turns into a defensive back.
Well, and that's why defensive backs are defensive backs and not receivers.
Exactly.
It's third down and about 3.
Coach Nealon is starting to use a little bit of antiperspirant over there.
With good reason. It's now 28-24. It was 28-3. Bolger sets, waits, delivers incomplete. Could not hang on. In and out of the hands of Green. 10-yard line once again.
Remember, Randy, if it goes over your head, we're not going to field it.
I wouldn't be surprised if he did, though. Wobbly kick headed for the near sideline. And this time he does let it bounce all the way down to the 1. It was a wobbly kick. He decided not to field it, and they will start from the 1 with 6:01 remaining in the third quarter of play. to cover the punt. 28-24. Football will be spotted at the 1-yard line. And I know it's no fun for the center or the quarterback or the offense when you're going to be starting that offense basically in your own end zone.
And you know what? This is the best place on the field to throw the ball. A lot of people are fearful of it.
On the return team. Penalty is half the distance to the goal. First down.
Half the distance. Well, that puts it at the half-yard line.
And the reason I say that this is the best part of the field to throw on is look how much green grass you have. And how many people are expecting a pass out of their own end zone?
Not many. Turner is the setback. And Pennington trying to squeeze it out to maybe the 2 or 3, and he possibly got out beyond the 1, and that's about it. I'll tell you one thing about Chad Pennington. His team was down 28-3, but he has maintained his composure, and he has brought his team back, starting with that big drive in the second half.
Big drive
in the second quarter, I mean. Yeah.
Big drive in the second half also. The thing that you like about this guy, he has been pounded by Gary Steele several times. Tough kid that sits in the pocket, throws the ball, and if they hit him, bring it on.
Stills jumped offside. Was he drawn or did he just go? How can you have delay of game and offsides?
I think this is the first time I've ever heard it. It's either delay of game, which negates the offsides. That's an interesting call. I think that's what they're talking about right now.
Well, let's double check this because I have never heard those 2 penalties offset. I always thought the delay of game would precede anything that happened.
Once it's a delay of game, it should be a dead ball.
Well, they're going to sort it out. It's going to be second down and 10. It's 28-24, West Virginia. Pennington throws the football incomplete, a little too long for Randy Moss. And if Moss had gotten to that football, it would have been see you later time.
And these corners with West Virginia are getting away with murder. Nate Terry on that play, the ball was in the air and he's got his hands on Randy Moss all the way 15, 20-yard line. I'm surprised the officials aren't flagging that. .5:02 to play third quarter. And Moss will have to regroup. It's third down. Maybe a yard for Low Turner. It'll be fourth down. And it could be that punt that rolled to the 1 may turn this around for West Virginia. You're starting to see emotion once again in the West Virginia defense and along their bench. They should have good field position. Can they turn around and capitalize on it? That's the question. Well, first things first, they need to make a first down here in the third quarter. They have not done that yet. They have had the ball 4 times, and it's been 3 and out every time. Remember, if the punter steps out of the back of the end zone, it's a safety. Gets the kickoff at the 45-yard line. From behind, he is ridden down. Great tackle made defensively there by B.J. Summers. He's had a pretty strong game this afternoon. Very impressive the first 2 quarters of this game. He has struggled. But he does not seem to bother his composure. Ready to go to work. Amos Zaraway that takes 4 Marshall players, maybe 5, before they stop his forward progress after a gain of 9. Now it's Zaraway to get things going for West Virginia. And it's amazing when the players start getting into it, the fans do, and they both feed off of one another. We talked about his power, how strong he is in the weight room. Good block. White on McLeod. He keeps those legs turning. He has stood straight up. Well, that's some of that weight work paying off right there. His legs are still churning.
Zaraway, 14 carries, 111 yards. He has 2 touchdowns for West Virginia. He has the football, trying to get outside. First down, hit from behind, and that pushes him inside the 30 to the 28-yard line.
And you're talking about yards after you're being hit, that's 5 more.
First down 10, ball at the 28. Clock running, 3:10 to play third quarter. Foreman in motion. McGibb is straight ahead to the fullback, trying to power his way is Leroy White, and he is shoved back by the center of that defensive line. People like Ricky Hall, Paul Totten, B.J. Cohen.
And Cohen's playing without his helmet again.
He's done that twice now.
You know what? It's amazing to me. I think guys like that take their helmet off because they know they're on television, and they want mom and dad to see them.
He actually loses a yard on the play, back to the 29. It'll be second down and 11 as Coach Pruitt. His team has battled valiantly this afternoon and gotten right back in the football game, down by just 4 points. Quick pass is complete near side to Foreman, but he's not going to get very far. He'll get maybe a yard, and that is about it. Thomas Maxwell leading the charge for Marshall.
You know, right now, Marshall is quicker than West Virginia. They are getting to the ball. They are swarming the ball, 4, 5, 6 hats at the ball. And right now, it seems to me West Virginia is a little bit tired. And you mentioned it early in the show, John.
Trying to come up with something to keep this drive alive. West Virginia is 0 for its last 7 third down plays. Out of the shotgun. Bulger rolls, looks, throws, incomplete. Intended for Foreman, and he had B.J. Summers all over him.
Don Nealon has got an interesting decision to make here. Third down and 11. This would be a 47-yard field goal. How confident in your kicker are you? That's basically what you're asking yourself right now.
Well, we'll find out. He is going to go for the field goal attempt. Jay Taylor last year was 15 of 24. One more tight end, Anthony Brecht on the field on this kicking team. A 47-yard field goal attempt. Trying to stretch the lead back to 7. The kick is up. Is it long enough? It is, but it's no good. Marshall holds. The thundering herd will take over the football. The change of possession comes with 1 minute and 37 seconds to go. And they were pretty quiet for about the first 20 minutes of this football game, but no longer. They are down in the north end zone, and they are whooping it up right now. Quick pass is incomplete. Intended for Randy Moss, and the guy that's been his buddy in his pocket all day right there was Nate Terry. And I'll tell you what, I think Nate Terry has done a pretty good job. Of course, as you said, they've been very physical with him, which I think probably was part of their plan.
He's done a phenomenal job, and we remember these statistics. Early in the second quarter, West Virginia had 186 yards total offense to Marshall 72. I think that's somewhat changed.
Certainly have. Marshall has dominated this game from the midway point of the second quarter. 21 unanswered points. Turner's got a lot of room. 40-45. Cuts it back at the 50. They run him down inside the 40-yard line. Cogdell caught up with him, but this guy, for a backup to Chapman, is putting on a show.
And it's not like Chapman came into this game with having to prove himself. Last year as a freshman,
Yard line. At the 40. Was he in bounds? The official says yes. No, he says no. It was Moss trying to make the catch right along the sideline in front of the West Virginia bench and stay in bounds, but he could not do it.
And we remember at halftime, Marshall had 13 yards rushing. Right now, they have 111. And Pennington is having so much more time to sit in the pocket and throw the ball. Why? They have gained 98 yards rushing, 98 yards rushing in this third quarter.
Moss, of course, with his kick returns. And the Thundering Herd has scored 21 consecutive points. Total yards.
If West Virginia had not blocked that punt.
That's right.
And what if Zaraway hadn't broke that 51-yard touchdown run?
That's true. Okay, but what if Lowe Turner had not broken a 53-yard touchdown run?
You know, the old story about ifs and buts, right?
They're back in the Thundering Herd on 2nd down and 10 from the 40. That one was almost picked off. A nifty little play as they tried to bring Moss back over the middle. But that could have been disaster right there.
And you talk about an interesting offensive set. 5 wide receivers, no tight end, no running back. If Randy Moss catches this ball, he may still be running.
Same thing for the West Virginia defender. He might still be going.
This offense has been brilliant on 3rd down. Another opportunity, 3rd down and 10.
That's what really started it for them when they were able to convert those 2 third and longs there midway through the 2nd quarter. Pressure coming, and that one is up for grabs and incomplete. Tremendous pressure up the middle that time defensively for West Virginia. And it was Bob Baum who led the charge.
Better if you kick it in the end zone. It helps your team if you can put that thing 10, 15-yard line.
Well, let's find out what Nate Terry can do. Or they try to angle it to the sideline or just kick it high and let it float. Fair catch is called for. Flags are down. The ball is in the end zone, but there's another flag down at the 3-yard line. This is not going to be a good play for the Mountaineers. We had flags all over the place. One back where the punt was made. Another where there was punt coverage down inside the 5-yard line. Let's sort this all out. Don Nehlen wants to know what's going on.
I would not want the job of the referees. Those guys in those zebra suits, they have to try and run up and down the field with these young guys. And
Personal foul. Roughing the kicker on the defense. 1st down. Need a ball.
Once again, a slow snap. It's a very low snap. The ball is away.
Wow.
Yeah, Carl.
Baum crashing into him. Now watch this at the other end, bottom left of your screen. This is a takedown.
That's a Larry Mahan special. That's a lasso. Grabs him around the neck.
It's 1st and 10. Pennington looking long. He's got a man wide open. Touchdown. It's Moss. And Marshall has the lead. Unbelievable.
This team has a huge heart. Down at one point, 28-3. They take the first lead of the day. Who do you go to? Randy Moss.
And he was wide open too, Jeff.
And I'll go back to this. Pennington has much more time to throw the ball once they started running the football. Turner, Chapman, gaining yards on the ground. 98 yards they've gained on the ground this quarter. Well, you can't take away both things. If you can run it, it's much easier to throw it.
This is an important extra point. It just squeezes through to make it a 3-point lead. The Thundering Herd has come all the way back to lead this football game.
Play action, Pennington, all the time in the world. Is Randy Moss for real? Yes, he is. Looks like he's going to run an out.
Then he just turns on that speed and he blows right by Barrett Green.
By Barrett Green. Easy catch, easy throw, easy touchdown.
This is shocking, isn't it? And we have now 27 more to go.
He's got 26 more to equal his same total from last year receiving.
Well, let's see if the Mountaineers now can answer. They have been quiet. Keaton fields it at the 4. wrestled down from behind as he gets across the 20 to maybe the 22-yard line. He was tackled there by Javon Darling, and there is Randy Moss. He's the real thing.
You have a flagrant personal foul on the defense. The player is ejected. First down, 15-yard penalty.
Out of the game. Let's see if that gets him fired up. Lamar Martin is gone.
I think that may be a little bit severe. He certainly he took Richardson's helmet and just threw it about halfway across the field, but I'm not sure ejection is the right thing.
They'll march it all the way to the 37-yard line, and that's where the Mountaineers will go to work.
These are the guys that are doing the work. Right here for this offense, the Thundering Herd, John White, a big block in the big run by Turner. Their offensive line is controlling the line of scrimmage. And this defense, the West Virginia defense that gave up 217 yards last year, right now have yielded 328 yards to this offense.
And it's 28 unanswered points by the Thundering Herd.
Mr. Momentum is on the side of Marshall.
He has been camped there since midway through the second quarter.
I know this has been a long quarter, but can you imagine how long it is for Don Nehlen and all his football players?
Very long. But it also means there's still plenty of time, and it's only a 3-point game. Zaraway, 40, 45. He's got maybe 10 yards on the play. Amos Zaraway says, give me that football. Rogers Beckett made the tackle. It is close to a first down.
Good job by the offensive line. Wable, the tight end, with a great block. Great stick by the Marshall defense. They are still getting to the ball.
That's the end of the third quarter. We've got a football game. Come back with us. Right now, Marshall leading 31-28. To 3 lead. The second quarter and a half belongs to Marshall. They outscored them 28-0, so here we are.
In every aspect, offensively, defensively, special teams, you name it. West Virginia did not record a first down in the third quarter.
And the movement all over the place, and the flags go with it that follow, and you can see that B.J. Cohen was in the backfield a tad early. For first down. But it took them 5 possessions to get that first down in the second half. But there's still plenty of time to turn it around. We have just begun the fourth quarter of play. I'm John Sanders along with Jeff Bostic. Glad you could join us. And you better not leave. Zaraway pounds it down to the 45, then spins away from even more tacklers to get it to the 43-yard line in the arms of John Grace.
Marshall's defensive tackle, Mercer, number 93, had an opportunity, tried to arm tackle Zaraway. You're not going to bring this kid down arm tackling him.
It'll be second down and 5 from the 43-yard line. Mountaineers send 2 wide receivers wide left. Hand the ball to Zaraway, trying to get outside. Head down, he pounds his way inside the 40, down to near the 37. B.J. Summers made the tackle, but that should be enough for a West Virginia first down.
Great job by the tight end, Anthony Beck. You wonder why a running back gets around the corner. Watch the far right side of your screen. Caves in the entire left side of that Marshall defensive side. Zaraway with nothing but open air. What a powerful running back.
Got some help from Leroy White again as well as fullback.
And Davy Crockett's here.
The Mountaineers trying to stir things up. They have been on their heels. There's the play action fake. Bulger now out of the pocket, throws it incomplete. He dumped it short, intended to Ivy. Corey Ivy could not hang on. That pocket. Bulger 50% completion. Foreman is in motion. It's Zaraway. Spins off one tackle and down he goes at the 40. Not that time. McLeod makes the hit, but he bounced off of one of his own men trying to get outside.
If you look at these two teams right now, Marshall seems to be the team that's the freshest. They seem to be the one the least affected by the heat.
And that's not what you would expect would happen.
You know what? Solomon Page, his big left tackle, gets driven back in the backfield. He's the one that should get credited for the tackle on Zaraway.
3rd down and 13. West Virginia down by 3. We're in the 4th quarter. Out of the shotgun. Bulger looking down that far sideline. Pass is incomplete. Just out of the reach of Pat Green. It'll be 4th down.
This is where they miss a guy like David Sanders.
Absolutely.
I mean, this guy, an All-American candidate, and this is a difference in the game. Pennington is hitting his All-American, and right now Bulger, he really doesn't have a go-to guy.
Well, they're trying to decide what is going to happen. They're going to punt with 13:23 to go. That's Randy Moss. I'm sure he will stay around after the game and clean up, sweep up the debris.
He's done everything else.
As advertised. Delay 5-yard line.
All great players do. When you see the great players, there's no situation they don't think they can bring something back. They can't make the tackle, whatever it might be. Great players try and make great plays and often do.
This one kicks into the end zone. It will come out to the 20 with 13:13 to play in the game. A good attempt by the Mountaineers, but Hernandez, no. Moss could not out at the 33-yard line. That would have been enough for a 1st down. Instead, it is 3rd down and 10. And Moss is heading back to the locker room, apparently. Let's see if we can spot something. Not Moss. Wade is heading back to the locker room. This is Moss. He cradled it, but it popped out. Crowd trying to get the defense fired up for West Virginia. On 3rd and 10. 4 wide receivers, shotgun formation. Is it intercepted? It was picked off by West Virginia. The interception by the Mountaineers. That was Nate Terry.
This is a ball that Pennington would love to have back. He tries to force it in there. Nate Terry has been all over the field. Coleclaw can't get the ball away. Great interception by Nate Terry. Big break for this West Virginia team.
The ball is at the 26-yard line. It is 1st and 10 for the Mountaineers. And now the fans are trying to help the offense. Zaraway outside. Splits the defense. Fights his way down to the 22-yard line. Larry McLeod again making the tackle. You talk about a guy that's been all over the field. Number 28 from Marshall has earned his keep today.
150 tackles for this Thundering Herd defense last season. Has led them in tackles the past 2 seasons. He's the heart and soul of that Marshall defense.
He's the middle linebacker, working between O'Neal and Grace. There is Terry, who got that interception. Zaraway powers his way inside the 20, falls forward to about the 18-yard line, maybe the 17-yard line. They need to get the 15-yard line for the 1st down as the clock winds down to 12 minutes left in the game.
West Virginia very content trying to play some smash mouth, see if they can't keep the clock moving and get the chains moving and get this thing in the end zone and get the lead back.
3rd down and 2. I think now they're in 4-down territory too, Jeff, if need be. Foreman in motion. Little delay. Zaraway trying to fight for the 1st down, and he's close. He is so close. You talk about heart. That kid's got some.
That is 2nd, 3rd, and 4th effort.
1st down. At the 15-yard line. Everybody in the stadium knows who's going to get the football.
He gets hit about 2 yards in the backfield. Look at those legs and look at that body lane.
But for West Virginia, Jeff, that's their first third down conversion since the first quarter. Again, Foreman in motion. Bulger rolls, throws, he's got a man wide open. 5-yard line, diving for the end zone. Touchdown, West Virginia. Wable, the tight end, gets into the end zone. What a beautiful play. And extra effort by Wable. West Virginia goes back on top.
Do you think Zaraway draws a little bit of attention?
Just a little.
Wable is wide open. Bulger leads him. Look at this effort. Sticks the ball right on top of the pylon. Touchdown.
And the official right there goes up with the hands. The extra point is up and good. And West Virginia is up by 4. The Mountaineers come back. After 28 unanswered, a beautiful play, a tremendous effort by Wable, and West Virginia has the lead over Marshall in Morgantown. We'll be back.
I think it will be a big key for this Marshall offense to get John Wade back on the field if he can.
The Mountaineers have regained the lead. You cannot hide Randy Moss, but they'll wait until the last second before they split off. Moss gets it at about the 12-yard line. 25, spins away from one tackler and gets out across the 30 to the 32.
Instead of the backyard brawl, it was just going to be a backyard, butt kicking. But this Marshall team down 28-3 at one time, and we kept talking about it. They have shown heart, and they've shown heart and more heart. They're going to have another opportunity right now.
Kicks this one pretty good. Yes, well done by West Virginia.
I would have taken the ball at the 32-yard line.
That's what you said. Instead, they'll get it at the 20.
The ball from anywhere.
That's right. Now the West Virginia fans trying to fire up their defense. 1st and 10 at the 20. Shovel pass, it's loose, and it's going to be incomplete. Let me tell you, they were very fortunate on that play. And that was the touchdown pass to Moss. 2nd down and 10 from the 20. And the noise level is increasing as the clock winds down. Pennington sets. He delivers the football incomplete. In and out of the hands of Colclaw, who was stretching out trying to make the catch. Could not. There's the push. There's the throw. It's intercepted again. Again, it's Nate Terry. 2nd one in a row for Terry right at the 35-yard line.
Pocket started to collapse late. Guess who? Gary Steele. Looks like the ball's intended for Nate Terry. He catches it. He has come up big in this 4th quarter.
Boy, has he ever.
This West Virginia defense looked for somebody to stand up and be a leader, and he has been that one person.
They also got the good pressure that time from Baum and from Stills. Gives them the football at the 35-yard line of Marshall. 1st down and 10. Zaraway fights his way to the 30, down to the 25, leans for a 1st down. Amos Zaraway. Thomas Maxwell made the tackle, but that extra lean gives him a new 4 downs.
We talked about the
West Virginia has the lead over Marshall in Morgantown. We'll be back.
I think it will be a big key for this Marshall offense to get John Wade back on the field if he can.
The Mountaineers have regained the lead. You cannot hide Randy Moss, but they'll wait until the last second before they split off. gets it at about the 12-yard line. 25, spins away from one tackler and gets out across the 30 to the 32.
Instead of the backyard brawl, it was just going to be a backyard, butt kicking. But this Marshall team down 28-3 at one time, and we kept talking about it. They have shown heart, and they've shown heart and more heart. They're going to have another opportunity right now.
Kicks this one pretty good. Yes, well done by West Virginia.
I would have taken the ball at the 32-yard line.
That's what you said. Instead, they'll get it at the 20.
The ball from anywhere.
That's right. Now the West Virginia fans trying to fire up their defense. 1st and 10 at the 20. Shovel pass, it's loose, and it's going to be incomplete. I tell you, they were very fortunate on that play. And that was the touchdown pass to Moss. 2nd down and 10 from the 20. And the noise level is increasing as the clock winds down. Pennington sets. He delivers the football incomplete. In and out of the hands of Colclough, who was stretching out trying to make the catch. Could not. There's the push. There's the throw. It's intercepted again. Again, it's Nate Terry. 2nd one in a row for Terry right at the 35-yard line.
Pocket started to collapse late. Guess who? Gary Steels. Looks like the ball's intended for Nate Terry. He catches it. He has come up big in this 4th quarter.
Boy, has he ever.
This West Virginia defense looked for somebody to stand up and be a leader, and he has been that one person.
They also got the good pressure that time from Baum and from Stills. Gives them the football at the 35-yard line of Marshall. 1st down and 10. Zaraway fights his way to the 30, down to the 25, leans for a 1st down. Amos Zaraway. Thomas Maxwell made the tackle, but that extra lean gives him a new 4 downs.
We talked about the freshness of that Marshall defense. Look at them now. All their defenders, hands on hips, breathing hard, and the emotional part of it has come back to West Virginia.
Well, here's part of the problem. The last 2 times when they've had to come out, the ball's already been deep in your own territory, thanks to the 2 interceptions by Terry. Fullback straight ahead, down to the 15-yard line. That's the backup, Anthony Green, the sophomore out of Jersey City, New Jersey, showing some power right up the middle. They've only run that play a couple of times, Jeff, but it's worked both times.
When you have fullbacks that are 240 pounds, and look at the people moving. Zaraway moving to your left, and Green is a big 6'2", 200. He's a power back, and he is punishing people. West Virginia 2 carries in this drive, 22 yards.
It is 2nd and very short. Zaraway 1st down. Near the 12 or 13-yard line is where they will spot it, and West
down and go for a little bit more.
Zaraway 158 yards on 24 carries. He gets it again. Carry number 25. Fighting his way to the 2-yard line. Behind Chad Wabel. It'll be very close to 1st. It is 1st and goal.
We talked about the Marshall offensive line controlling the line of scrimmage.
Boy, they did there.
Now West Virginia's doing it. Zaraway not even touched until he's 6 yards past the line of scrimmage. 1st and goal for West Virginia.
Beckett and Summers in that secondary had to make the tackle. The Mountaineers on the move, trying to add to a 35-31 lead. It's the fullback. Stopped at the 1. That's Leroy White. And he met on the field. Wabel, of course, is the other tight end. They take out 2 wide receivers, and they will go power football right here. just outside the 1-yard line. Marshall trying to dig in. Zaraway leaping into the end zone for a touchdown. But there is a flag down at the line of scrimmage. Hold everything.
Offside.
Defense was lined up offside.
Will be declined.
The touchdown is good. Third touchdown of the day for Zaraway.
These are the toughest yards in football. Watch Leroy White. Cuts down McLeod. Zaraway over the top. His third touchdown of the afternoon.
The extra point is good. And just like that, the turnovers have helped the Mountaineers regain control. Zaraway powers it in. Touchdown number 3. It's 42.5 yards. But you need yardage, and clock stoppage is what you need.
In a hurry.
An 11-point lead for the Mountaineers. Pennington in trouble and down. He does get across the 30 and pick up the first down. Well, Pennington able to fight forward. Kevin Landot was one of them in there defensively as they've gone to some of the backup linebackers right now, trying to keep fresh bodies on the field as best they can. It is 1st and 10 at the 32. Have been costly to Bob Pruitt's club, especially the last two after they had come back and taken the lead.
And this is on top of the block punt for a touchdown.
That's right.
This Marshall team, regardless of what happens the next 6.5 minutes, can be very proud of the way they played this football game.
Well, they were buried at one point in this game, 28-3, but they fought their way back to lead 31-28. But then West Virginia, with a couple of interceptions by Nate Terry. Here comes pressure from Stills. The pass is complete at midfield. Making the catch, his first of the day, is John Cooper. He's a redshirt freshman from Alexandria, Virginia. All the way out to the 50 and a gain of 18 yards on the play.
Pennington barely gets rid of this football. Stills is bearing down. Great catch. There is no quit. There is no quit in this Marshall football team.
He got sandwiched.
Pennington needs to get into an ice bath tomorrow.
Or maybe tonight. Clock running. 6:10 to play. We're in the 4th quarter. This has been a great afternoon of football. Pass complete and then knocked away. A good pop that time. Knocks it out of the hands of John White, the tight end.
And Reed, the right guard who was injured a few plays ago, he's back in the lineup.
2nd and 10 at the 50. The tailback with it, that's Chapman. It's down inside the 50 to maybe the 48, a gain of 2. It'll be 3rd down. And about 8 coming up. Stills and Thornton double teaming on the tackle. We have not heard too much of Henry Hank Slay this afternoon.
He has been very quiet, as has Thornton. This offensive line for Marshall, particularly Wade and Reed, have done a great job blocking these two.
Another huge play for Pennington because it's 3rd and long. Out of the shotgun. Here comes pressure. And down he goes. They got him back at the 45-yard line. And you know who was in the middle of it. There he is.
If you're a West Virginia fan, number 55 has been all over the field. Simply outruns Jamie Rogers, the junior offensive tackle.
But that kid has had a heck of a day. Fair catch called for at the 15-yard line and fielded right there. Fielding it was old Sure Hands himself, Nate Terry. The offense to put that ball in the end zone. He is the man that delivered. 1st and 10 from the 19-yard line. Guess who? Zaraway's got a little bit of a seam, and then he's knifed down as he crosses the 15-yard line, gets maybe to the 18. It'll be 2nd and about 7. From the 18. Don Nehlen's team will be happy to keep that clock running now.
And you wonder, what will West Virginia take from this game? They're going to find out that their offense has been very inconsistent today. Their defense needs some work and maybe some conditioning, but he's got to be proud of this team's heart.
That's the backup Keaton carrying the football, and Keaton gets to the 20-yard line. It'll be 3rd down and 5. This has almost been like 3 different football games if you think about it. The quick start for West Virginia, beginning with the block punt. Then obviously Marshall really took control of the middle part of the ball game, all the way to the point where they had a 3-point lead, and then it turned again.
And the thing about it, Marshall has been their own worst enemy. You know, the interceptions, a great plays by Nate Terry, set up 2 scoring opportunities, and have given West Virginia the lead.
Loose football, loose football. We also have a flag down in the middle. John Grace.
Dead ball, illegal snap on the center.
So it's a dead ball, forget the fumble.
And I've done that before, and once I started it moving, the quarterback was going to get it. He may get it a little bit early, but he's going to get it.
He might not be expecting it, but he was going to get it, right? That's Curtis Keaton. He'll get it out to about the 19-yard line. It'll be 4th down, and West Virginia will punt it away. Inside 2.5 minutes remaining in this football game, and as advertised, I think the entire state of West Virginia can be proud of what they've seen here today. It's been a terrific game.
I don't think anybody has left the stands.
Not very many. There are a few people heading out now. You can see them walking down the hillsides and toward the parking lot that separates the stadium from the beautiful medical complex over here.
You know, Bob Pruitt can be awfully proud of his football team also. I mean, they were down 28-3. They showed the heart of a champion and came back, took the lead, and unfortunately late in the game became their own worst enemy.
Well, Randy Moss has been everything we expected, whether it be returning, receiving. They angle this one out of bounds. Let's see where they spot it. It's going to be good field position for the Thundering Herd at about the 46-yard line of West Virginia. So Brian Bauman, another short punt in his effort to keep it away. Only a 28-yard kick. Earlier he had a 6-yard kick. Forward to working with you as the Big East season goes along, Jeff.
Should be an interesting year. I mean, obviously West Virginia is a talented team. Syracuse up there with all of them in the country. Miami, it ought to be interesting.
Pennington drops it inside to Randy Moss, and he is run down from behind by Kevin Landolt. Short of a 1st down. He gets it inside the 40 down to the 38. It'll be 2nd and short yardage for the Thundering Herd, and they will go without a huddle now as the clock is still moving. 1:15 to play. Pennington still throwing. Got his man open and down inside the 15 is Mark Wicks. Barrett Green made the hit on him. They're out of timeout, so the clock will continue to roll. The ball is spotted at the 15-yard line, and we are headed. It's going to be 1st down, so that will stop the clock momentarily while they reset the chains. 1:02 to go. There's the sack, and that will just about seal it. Speaking of sealing it, it was Gary Stills stepping up, and it is this West Virginia defense. That's 5 sacks for him.
5 sacks today.
There's Moss. What a terrific performance he put on. All-purpose yards, 225. He scored a couple of touchdowns. He gave his team good field position with his kick returns. He has been outstanding. But this one is just about over. This might be the final play of the afternoon. From behind, the ball is loose. Still another sack by Stills. They'll call it an incomplete pass.
You know what? The coaches were exactly right with this guy. He is the ever-ready bunny. He keeps going.
Oh, he does.
And he keeps going.
There's 8 seconds to go. You've pretty much got the football game in your pocket.
And don't you love it? He's got one of his arms with a full sleeve on, and the other one has none. I would love to know the philosophy behind that.
Well, there is one. You can bet on that.
Yeah, there's got to be something there.
There is Moss. He and his teammates have given it everything this afternoon and actually came back to lead this football game at 31-28. Moss to the near side for maybe the final play. And he certainly is the real deal. No question about that. We have a flag down, delay of game. Parking lots where the tailgating started when? I would say about Wednesday probably.
They've been ready for this game for 75 days.
Wow. Yes. One more time over the middle. The pass is knocked away, incomplete. And there's still 3 ticks left on the clock. Broken up by Barrett Green. Coleclaw was the intended receiver. Three wideouts will be split to the top of the screen with 3 seconds to go. Wow. This game is not going to end.
Dead ball
It's not going to
delay
go quietly.
on the offense. 5-yard penalty. Repeat the down.
For the end zone, up for grabs, intercepted, and that is it. The interception will be credited to Barrett Green, and it was interceptions that keyed this turnaround victory for West Virginia. The final score from Morgantown. The Mountaineers beat the Thundering Herd. They can start the celebrations now in the Morgantown area. 42-31 is the final.